always on your side. This is First Coast News at 5.
And first at 5, we are following some breaking news. Right now, there is a very heavy police presence. This is in the Weatherwood Estates Drive neighborhood in Mandarin.
And we do know right now that a SWAT team is on the scene in this neighborhood. And we want to go now to First Coast News reporter Nick Perot. He joins us from the scene now with the latest information for us. Nick.
Anthony, Heather, we can tell you about a dozen or so JSO cars have been here over the last hour or so. Want to show you the action is actually happening further down. We've been moved back about a block or so, but we're is in reference to a suicidal person. Early reports say they believe that it's a man inside a home, and right now we can tell you over the last 20 minutes or so, there have been people that they've stopped from going into their home, and earlier officers did do door knocks to try to pull people out of their homes and evacuate in the area. Again, right here along this Clearwater Creek subdivision. I want to tell you again, this is about a suicidal person waiting for an update here from Lieutenant Judge. We can actually show you right here, Byron, if you want to pull up, talking to another officer right now, just going through an update. But we want to tell you that if you are in this area, that they actually have right now police starting to block off Hood Landing here next to Weatherwood Estates Drive. So if you are in this area here shortly, this road right here will be blocked off. You'll have to go around the area. Again, waiting for an update. Lieutenant, can I grab you real quick? Can I grab you real quick for an update here? Just want to, we are live right now on the air. Just want to get an update in terms of what you guys are working on at this hour here with this SWAT situation.
Yes, sir. We got called out here about 2:30, 2:35 today. And the initial call was in reference to a suicidal person. We were called by a third party. They said that he was texting with this person and said that he was possibly suicidal. He's making threats to kill himself. So
somebody that lives in this neighborhood?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they live in the neighborhood or they're just a friend from work. It could be any. I know we have the information on the complainant, but I don't personally know it. So we get here quickly. Takes us about 4 minutes to get here on scene, and we verify that he is in the house. First thing we do is get containment. We just want to contain him, make sure he can't go anywhere and he's in there.
Is that person still in the house at this hour?
Yes, sir. So we get containment, he's in there. We form a perimeter around the house, and then we start trying to gather intelligence. You know, what kind of weapons does he have? Does he have any children? Does he have dogs? I mean, are they vicious? All kinds of stuff. Then we start looking at arrest history, mental health history, stuff like that.
How far are we at in terms of that background
right now?
Do we think that the neighbors in this community are at risk right now?
No, they're not, because what we've done thus far is we've been talking to him for about 45 minutes. During the conversation, he fired several shots off. So we're trying to talk to him, but he cut communications off with us. So that's where we're at right now. He's not communicating with us anymore. So during all of this, during the interim, what we did was we have an evac team, and they made the proper evacuation. So we've got many residents in here. They've been displaced.
Any officers injured in terms of those shots being fired back, or were any shots then relayed back into the house?
No, sir. We don't believe he was shooting at us. We just think he was just shooting. So right now we're working on getting him out with nobody getting hurt.
Why, thank you very much for your time.
Yes,
appreciate it. Thank you very much. That was Lieutenant Judge with Jacksonville Sheriff's Office again with this update, responding here to a call of a suicidal man in this Clearwater Creek neighborhood. As of right now, he says there's no threat to people in this area. Again, this road, if you're going along Weatherwood Estates Drive and Hood Landing, that will be shut down shortly here. Make sure to keep it right here for the very latest. We're expecting another briefing here at 5:30, so keep it right here for the very latest. Reporting live in Mandarin, Nick Perot, First Coast News, on your side.
Nick, thank you. Developing now, 8 people injured after an Escalade and a GMC truck hit each other on JTB. This all happened this afternoon.
Very bad accident. 3 of them are in critical condition, and that includes 2 children. We're going to bring you more information as soon as we get more details. Also tonight in Georgia, the U.S. Marshals are looking for Audrey Jenkins. Jenkins was serving time in Jacksonville for dealing meth.
And she was then sent to Alma, Georgia to face additional charges when she was released on a clerical error. Now, the Marshals are offering a $2,500 reward for any information you might have. Let's go to St. Johns County now. The U.S. Marshals there have arrested this man accused of a triple shooting this weekend.
His name is Anthony Williams. He allegedly shot 3 people near Pearl and McLaughlin Streets in West St. Augustine. Tonight he faces 3 counts of attempted murder and possession of a firearm by a felon. So if you have seen him, if you know where he is, call police.
And this is a story that has a lot of people talking. A secure nuclear facility, a team of activists, and an overnight break-in. These 7 men and women are between the ages of 55 and 78.
And somehow they slipped past security to vandalize the Kings Bay Naval Submarine Base in St. Mary's, Georgia. And that is where we find First Coast News reporter Eric Alvarez live tonight. Eric?
Well, those activists are with a group called Kings Bay Plowshares. Right now, no one from the base is going on camera to answer questions about how this group got in. But what we do know right now is why the group got in. The Kings Bay Plowshares activists claim they slipped past security to vandalize the submarine base with signs, spray paint, and even their own blood to spread a message of peace.
People of conscience saying the world will be better without nuclear weapons.
Brian Hines and Jessica Stewart identify themselves as Catholic Workers, a network of church leaders and members supporting the activists who on Wednesday night targeted the administration building, the D5 missile monument, and nuclear weapons storage bunkers, expecting to be arrested and thrown in jail, all to spread their message.
The weapons at this base could blow up the entire world many times over.
Elizabeth McAllister of Maryland, Steve Kelly of California, Mark Corville of Connecticut, Patrick O'Neill of North Carolina, and Carmen Trotta, Claire Grady, and Martha Hennessy, all of New York, now face felony charges and are being held without bond at the Camden County Jail. So, how did 7 people between the ages of 55 and 78 get in?
I would put that on the base. If the base can't keep people 55 to 78 from walking into a nuclear bunker and wandering around the base for several hours, that's something they're going to have to answer for. I don't know.
The group tells me this is not the first time the Plowshares movement has gotten inside a secure military facility, and this is also not the first time some of these 7 activists have spent time behind bars. New tonight at 6, why this group decided to strike on the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Live in Kings Bay, Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.
Eric, thank you. As many as 3 men are possibly suspects in a carjacking this morning in the Oakleaf section of Orange Park. As First Coast News anchor Jeff Vallon explains, the suspects were young enough to fool their victim with an innocent request.
It all began on the quiet cul-de-sac of Highland Mill Lane in Oakleaf as the 25-year-old mother was leaving for work. 2 young men approached her and asked her for a ride to school.
She said, "Sure, I'll give you a ride right here to the end," because, I mean, kids are walking through this neighborhood all the time.
A good-natured offer that could have cost Greg Cook's daughter dearly.
The guy put the gun to her head.
2 guys, actually. The Clay County Sheriff's Office says only about 15 or 16 years old.
Just 2 young kids. I mean, just 2 young kids.
She was able to swat the gun away and get out of the vehicle. She was finally able to track down an officer right here by this athletic center on Oakleaf Village Parkway, about a half-mile away.
Jumped out and immediately ran over there to him, and that's when the guys in custody now jumped in the front seat. 1 fled.
The one who fled might be one of 2 young men police eventually tailed in a black Cadillac to the Holly Cove Apartments on Wells Road, several miles away.
I can't confirm it, but we do believe at this time it's going to be related.
It all ended here at the corner of Stonebriar Ridge Drive and Stonewood Way when police caught up with the vehicle and the suspect with their guns drawn.
3 police officers with their guns out. And I heard, "He has a gun, he has a gun."
It ended with no further violence, but not without continued anxiety of what could have happened.
I'd rather not think about that at all. I mean, main thing is my daughter's safe.
The first thing I said to my husband is, it could happen to me, you know, driving down the road with my little girl in the back seat.
And a change of approach when approached in the future.
She won't be ever giving nobody a ride again, I guarantee you that.
We're still waiting for word from police about the 2 suspects picked up at the Holly Cove Apartments, as well as any charges that any of the suspects might be facing. In Oakleaf, Jeff Vallon, First Coast News, on your side.
Very concerning. Thank you, Jeff. Right now, the City Council is meeting to discuss the future of the city's largest financial asset. By now, you may know we're talking about JEA, and tonight, they started out addressing an alleged miscommunication between a city councilman and the mayor's office that led to a brief firestorm of drama. Our Shelby Danielson is live with the details for us. Shelby.
And that it was more drama surrounding JEA, Anthony. Now, that alleged miscommunication that opened up this meeting has to do with an exchange between Mayor Curry and City Council President Anna Brochet. You may recall earlier this week, they exchanged some heated letters. City Council President Brochet was requesting some financial information from the mayor's office in regard to JEA, but the mayor's office hasn't been providing it. They said the City Council asked them to stop any analysis of JEA, so that's why they said that information wasn't available. So it goes back to, they said it was a misunderstanding somehow. Now the mayor's office will be communicating again with them as they move forward. So hopefully we'll be seeing some more financial analysis when it comes to JEA and its impact on the city. We spoke with Mayor Curry about it earlier. He says this is just another political stunt. He says it's an attack on his administration, but he hopes the public isn't affected.
The people of Jacksonville don't care about this political nonsense and pettiness that's happening. This leadership sent me a letter saying, per our conversation, I'd like you to do this. There was no conversation. Again, it was a political PR stunt.
Now, another heavy topic being discussed right now is Plant Vogtle, a nuclear power plant that JEA has more than $1 billion invested in, more than $2 billion actually. It's years behind its completion date up in Georgia, and the utility industry really has changed quite a bit since JEA signed into contract with this nuclear power plant. So the payoff has lessened, and it's clear that they want to get out of the contract. The question is, can they? And what council members are asking JEA CEO Paul McElroy right now is, can they break even with this much money invested in it? You can see this is the amount of data that's that they're going over tonight. So it's going to be lasting quite a bit longer. We'll have another report coming up at 6. Reporting live at City Hall, Shelby Danielson, First Coast News, on your side.
Shelby, thank you. This next story, I don't even want to talk about it, but hurricane season is right around the corner.
It sure is, and our storm expert, Steve Fundera, is going to break down his predictions for the 2018 season. That's next.